Yay Media Group.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And today we are going to break down track number 19 on the Tortured Poets Department, the Albatross.
So good.
Written by Taylor Swift and Aaron Dessner.
Yay.
Now, we are on a big Aaron Dessner streak here.
Love.
We have, just so you can look forward to what's coming up on the podcast, the Albatross, Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. How did it end? So High School. I hate it here. Thank you, Amy.
Those
are
are
just
all
all in a row.
Aaron?
Boom. All Aaron Dessner and Taylor Swift.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Aaron.
And then you got one Jack Antonoff song, I Look in People's Windows, followed the rest are either solo by Taylor Swift or Aaron Dessner. You have 4 more Aaron Dessner songs after that. So
Wow.
very
So I
Aaron
guess-
Dessner heavy, this part of the album.
yeah.
The anthology, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, very Aaron.
I know we saw the first part come out and we were like, where's Aaron? I mean, I was anyways.
Yeah, he's on, a handful of them.
Yeah.
6 of them
Sure.
or something. But
Wasn't that the same way for Midnights too, though? That the 3 a.m. edition
Had
was,
more.
yeah, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Something about just a deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Saving the best for last.
There's 13 million reasons why I love this podcast. One of them being, I feel like I learned so much about the song just by researching it for this episode. And I had already felt like the song didn't get the appreciation that it deserved. But after studying the lyrics and everything that we're about to talk about and dissect and get into, is so genius songwriting of Taylor Swift that it's I want more people to know. I wish it was. And I didn't know a lot of the references that she was making in the lyrics of the song until I started looking into it. And I have a whole new level of appreciation for this song after learning about it. So I'm really excited to talk about it. I'm very excited for this episode.
Yeah, my mom just offhand mentioned the albatross around my neck common phrase. I was like, wait a second, are you talking about Taylor Swift? And she's like, no, it's like a thing that people, it's like a thing. I was like, what?
Yeah. That's crazy.
I had no idea.
I had no
thought
idea
she
either.
was talking Taylor to me.
I had no idea. Talk Taylor to me.
Did anyone know what an albatross was before this?
Like
a bird.
A bird.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what it was. I mean, I probably could have figured it out, but I don't know. Who says albatross? I didn't.
Right. I believe,
Right. It's not like a seagull.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's also a plane. You can have an albatross. It's like a really big plane, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What's that
But
prison?
Huh?
There's a
Alcatraz.
Azkaban? Oh.
There's Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
Azkaban.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift and Harry Potter. Azkaban. But yeah, Alcatraz.
Okay.
Alcatraz is actual prison.
Yeah. Let's see the confusion.
San Francisco.
An albatross, a large seabird that spends its first 6 years without touching the land. Remember when we got the titles of the song? Because I think she had revealed that this was going to be a bonus track. Before we knew there was a double album, she had revealed that the Albatross was one of the variants of the Tortured Poets Department. And it was the Albatross version. And we were like, oh my God, an albatross is a large bird that spends its first 6 years without touching the land. She just got out of the 6-year relationship, and we thought oh, this is going to be a song all about how, everything that she went through over those 6 years. And it turned out to be kind of the complete opposite, not the complete opposite, but it's not what I expected it to be when we first only had the title of an albatross. But, in a metaphorical sense, an albatross is also usually referred to as something that can cause anxiety or guilt, or that burdens you. So there's the double meaning there. And then I recently learned that albatrosses have also been a symbol of mystery and fortune in literature. I didn't know that either. So there's a lot of different inspirations and ways that you can interpret the word albatross. But then remember at the Grammys, we were like, is she trying to dress like an albatross? Because an albatross bird is white and it has these long wings that have black edges, black tips. and she wore the white dress that we later saw in the 4-Night music video and black gloves. And so we were like, oh my God, is she an albatross?
She is the albatross.
She is the albatross, which is really, really cool. But I do think that before getting into the lyrics, did you guys read about the poem? It's called The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. It's from like the 1800s by Taylor Coleridge. And in the poem, and feel free to chime in because I really just very recently learned about this in my research.
Same.
But in this poem, the wind plays a role within the narrative because what it's about is this mariner shoots an albatross that's following a ship that he's on because he believes it to be a bad omen. And the crew were initially angry because they believed that the albatross had brought the wind that was steering the ship. So he shoots down the bird because he thought it was a bad omen. And then the south wind that blew from the north began to send them into uncharted waters where they became stranded and tormented. So then he was forced to wear the dead bird around his neck, which is what your mom was referring to, the albatross around his neck as a punishment. And the albatross became a symbol of the burden and of this curse and for him to regret his actions. So then this poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, is also based on the theme of sin, revenge, and repentance. The killing of the innocent albatross, a Christian soul, brings suffering to the old mariner and the other sailors. It also shows that a thoughtless bad act can have lasting repercussions. And so there's a lot of references to that in the song, which I think it's important context that I didn't have before this. So maybe context new to our listeners as well.
Yeah.
But
so the sailor thought the bird was a bad omen, but it was his actions against the bird that was
yes,
the bad omen.
ultimately.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that the albatross had so much depth to
I
it.
know.
you
So much literature, so
Yeah.
much poetry behind it.
I feel smarter already. Thank you.
Was there anything else that you had read about it, Lacey?
No, that was it exactly. It is interesting all the many different ways that she can use albatross in this song. The way that she seems to be the one who's always the problem. That it's not her that it's the problem. That it's you portraying everything and foreshadowing everything onto her. No, I thought you did a great job covering that.
I feel like this song is just her describing her side of the story as the albatross.
As the albatross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get sucked into this song just from the beginning, just because she has such a unique cadence when she starts singing the song. It's just so different, and sometimes I'm like, wait, where's she going with this? What's she doing? Wise men, one said. It's just like an interesting way to even start sharing the story. Wise men once said, and now this is a quote, "Wild winds are death to the candle."
Yes. So she's immediately opening up the song by setting up the idea that the wise men once said, like, oh, like this is a song about being warned not to be with me, right? So wild winds are death to the candle, meaning like the winds of Mother Nature are no match for a man-made flame, essentially. Meaning that women like herself, someone who is free-spirited, abides by her own rules, is somebody that cannot be controlled.
Is this Rebecca Harkness we're talking about?
I mean, vibes.
A wild woman?
Vibes.
Could be.
Yeah.
And so she's opening the song by setting up the idea that the lover in this narrative, the person that is being warned in this narrative, is being warned about Taylor for her destructive nature, right? Like she's a wild wind.
Yeah. Well, in Mastermind, she says, "I'm the wind in your free-flowing sails." So she's the wind, and the flame of love on that candle, she could either feed it and, make it stronger, or blow too hard and blow it out.
Ooh, unpredictable.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember the song "Candle in the Wind" by Elton John?
I do.
What a great song. I'm really not...
I had not heard it.
I'm
thought of
not
it
connecting
in a while.
this at all to that, other than what a great song
The
that
words.
was. And then remember, he put out that song for Princess Diana, and then the Princess Diana Beanie Baby came out. Do you remember that?
Oh. I think I've heard you talk about the Beanie Baby before.
My wife has one.
Yeah.
Aren't you a collector?
Kids College Fund. I am. Anyways, a rose by another name is a scandal.
Shakespeare.
Woo! So
Shakespeare.
I love that throughout the song, she'll take things and slightly twist them. Just she'll take old phrases, like quotes, things, and just slightly twist them. So what is the Shakespeare quote?
Romeo and Juliet. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet as just as sweet. I didn't write it down, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, scandal's gonna be a scandal. Even if you want to call it something else.
Yeah, you can say it's going to be a rose, pretty smelly, flowery, wonderful, but it's still a scandal.
Yeah, I think I read someone say that in the context of Shakespeare, like Amy said, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. In the context of that, Juliet says that line to express that even if Romeo was not Romeo, he would still be the person that she loves, right? But by changing it to a rose by any other name as a scandal, Taylor's basically saying that no matter who she dates, it's a scandal regardless.
Yeah.
It does not matter if this person is an actor, musician, or athlete. It's a scandal because she's Taylor Swift.
Yeah. And then here we go. Cautions issued. He stood, shooting the messengers. They tried to warn him about her. Same song and dance so many other people have when they're even just friends with Taylor. Beware. They were warned, and this person is saying, no, it's fine. I'm going to choose Taylor for this time. It's fine. He shot the messengers. Hey, okay, we tried to warn you, buddy. We tried to warn you.
Yeah, I think it can just relate to a lot of, the Taylor serial dater. Don't do it. Don't do it.
She's just going to write a song about you.
Right.
Yeah.
She's just going to write a song about you.
And then again, Taylor takes common phrases and has to twist them a little bit,
just
add her
slightly.
add her own touch to it. Cross your thoughtless heart,
I
not just
love
cross
it.
your heart, your thoughtless heart.
Right, because the phrase is cross your heart and hope to die.
Stick
Right.
a needle in your eye.
And that phrase, in case it's new to anyone, cross my heart, hope to die, it typically is to emphasize that you're being genuine, right?
Yeah, it's a vow.
Like,
I promise.
I
Tell the
promise.
truth.
I cross my heart. I cross my heart and
Yeah.
swear to die. Like, I promise this is being genuine. So by saying cross your thoughtless heart, I feel like she's insinuating that this person is just not taking the warning seriously, right? Like, they're not thinking about what everyone's saying. They're going to sign up anyway.
Cross your thoughtless heart. Only liquor anoints you. She's the albatross. She is here to destroy you.
So only liquor anoints you, I think is interesting, because to anoint means to make someone holy in a religious ceremony through the use of holy water. But she's replacing holy water with liquor.
Yeah, I was confused by it. Is it just like alcohol's going to fix the problem?
I think it's just an emphasis on the thoughtlessness.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong.
With the thoughtlessness, I almost thought like naive or inexperienced, childlike. But
Or
liquor
someone-
is very adult-like.
Someone who thinks that they don't need to be saved, too.
Oh,
if this
okay.
is something that anointing normally would save you from something, then this is, you're taking the holiness out of it. Only liquor anoints you because you don't need to be saved.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a reference that I saw somebody else.
Or would it be kind of in the same line of thought, but in a negative way? If only liquor anoints you, if it is a reference to alcoholism.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Could be dealing,
Either.
drinking to deal with the stress.
Yeah.
Or could be him ignoring, saying, I don't need anybody to tell me anything. I don't need to be saved. I'm fine. I got this. I got my false god.
I do like that.
Or I wonder if this is also just part of what we've been talking about, people warning this other person in her life. They're warning her. They're like, she's dangerous. Like, almost like Taylor's anointing him, but it's with liquor. It's not good for you to be with her.
Gotcha. Like
You
she's
know, like
liquor.
it's a poison. Yeah, she's the evilness. Because they're saying only liquor anoints you. She's the albatross. She's here to destroy you. So maybe it's just like, okay, this isn't good. This isn't a holy relationship. This isn't good for you. You're being anointed with liquor. It's bad.
Sorry, I was going to say the she's the albatross, she's here to destroy you, just alludes back to that poem that we were talking about earlier, referring to herself as the albatross. But I do think it is really important to emphasize what Amy was saying, that in the scope of this poem that she's referencing, like Amy was saying, it's not the albatross that did something bad, but it's the albatross that gets all the blame.
Yeah.
Much like Taylor. She'll date someone, but it's horrible, but it's her fault, right?
Right.
Everything is bad. shameful. Taylor uses the I feel like the suspicious tone to show how blame is pointed on the albatross, showing how men point the blame on women that they've been warned about instead of acknowledging their own actions.
Sure.
So if my life goes absolutely horrible, it's because I dated Taylor Swift. It's not because I chose to date Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? So it's just always putting the blame on her.
And man, to have someone say you're such a burden.
Golly.
She's the albatross. Like
And that's-
she's your burden. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
And
Goodness.
to live with that
Yeah.
day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, thinking she is the burden, but she's not.
No,
Right.
She's telling her side of the story. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll get there.
We'll get there. Wise men
One
once
said-
said, one bad seed kills the garden.
Yeah.
And that's in
Which-
quotes. Again, wise men once
quotes.
said, one bad seed kills the garden.
Some people think that this could have been calling back to whenever she started going to the Chiefs games. And once she started going, then they lost a few games in a row, or Brad's and Chad's were moaning she was destroying the NFL football
Yeah.
and begging her to stay away. So that could be when bad seed kills the garden, because just like you said, she does get blamed for absolutely everything, even though it's not her fault. But also, someone else pointed out, when bad seed kills the garden is so clever, because we're familiar with the phrase, one bad apple spoils the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's taking a bad apple that's going to spoil everything else, whereas this bad seed is naturally corrupt and can't be changed. Whereas the apple is something that it changes into something bad. This is something that was made bad, and you can't save it.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
one bad seed kills the garden.
Yeah. And it is just so crazy to think about when that was happening, when she first started going to the Chiefs games, and people truly were blaming her, saying she's ruining the NFL. They're saying this one woman
Ridiculous.
attending a football game is ruining the entire NFL. Like, that is insane.
What I do love is how time will work everything out. They were saying that. Fast forward 8 months, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Right.
She didn't ruin anything.
Yeah.
She was enhancing the team. If anything, she was making it better.
Like, it's just crazy to me how people can really have that
They just say
mindset
things.
of she's ruining the NFL.
No one can really think that.
People do.
So we are continuing in these quotes that she's giving. So she says, wise men once said, one bad seed kills the garden. That's one phrase, one saying. Another one is, quote, one less temptress. And then, quote, one less dagger to sharpen.
Yeah.
So they're
And-
saying 3 things in a row about Taylor.
And these last two, I think, are some of her favorite because she used these lyrics as a tease during promotion
Yeah.
before the album even came out.
Yeah. And it's horrible, but when we had those lyrics out of context, just the one less temptress, one less dagger to sharpen, I think that since I assumed that she was the narrator, that she was the one saying this, I thought it was going to be like something referring to like jealousy of someone else, when that's not it at all. It's actually like quotes talking about her. And
Yeah.
it's like, oof, I was so wrong in assuming that, and I recognize that. But one less temptress, one less dagger to sharpen also just refers to how society treats women when they are in a male-dominated area, like Taylor being in the NFL. You know, like, get her out of here, one less thing to worry about.
And one less dagger to sharpen. I'm
I
trying to say
assume,
about her.
You
but
know, kill her. We don't need to sharpen anymore because we've already killed her.
we've gotten rid of her.
Yeah.
She's
Like, we don't
gone.
need to worry about her anymore.
True. Yeah, one less dagger to sharpen. Locked me up in towers, but I'd visit in your dreams. And they tried to warn you about me.
I feel like the vibe in this is kind of cynical in the way that she says it, you know, but I think she's also saying, like, your thoughtless actions of wanting to be with me, regardless of these warnings, then you won't be able to escape me, you know, because I'll visit in your dreams. Like, I'll still be there. you can't get rid of me. And then it also, I feel like, ties into Cassandra just because of the parallel of I was in towers weaving nightmares.
Did anyone see Nosferatu?
Yes.
visit you in your dreams.
Oh my God, yeah, you're
Just
right.
like Nosferatu.
Just like
Gonna haunt
Nosferatu.
Ellen. Was that her name? Lily Rose. Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah.
Nosferatu haunted her in her dreams.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. Nosferatu.
Cross your thoughtless heart. Only liquor anoints you. She's the albatross. She's here to destroy you. Devils that you know raise worse hell than a stranger.
Yeah, it took me a while to kind of understand that.
Devils that you know raise you worse than a stranger.
I took it as the people that you're closest to are the ones that can hurt you the best.
Yes.
Well, and the Archer, because all of my enemies started out friends. So it's people that you trusted that didn't have your best interest.
I think throughout this song, with all of these warnings and idioms and quotes, I think it's another one of better the devil you know than the devil you don't, which basically means it's better to deal with someone that you're familiar with and you know, because even though it's not ideal, it's sometimes better than taking a risk with an unknown person. But it's, I guess, kind of the opposite in what you're saying. Like, it's Taylor's saying, like, the devils that you know, the people that you've known for years are the ones that can end up being the most dangerous because they know more about you.
Yeah.
You know, and we've talked about that before about, like, you know, people that she has probably opened up so much of herself to that then are no longer in her life. And I wonder if she worries about just the things that they know about her that could be used against her later on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that's a fear and an insecurity within herself also. Because now, even just name dropping Taylor, regardless of what it is, it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, so that's gotta suck.
And just someone destroying your trust
Yeah.
in general. That's the worst. How do you come back from something if you don't trust this person anymore? Then for me, like, I wouldn't be able to. If you don't have my trust, that's bare minimum what you're supposed to have from me.
Yeah.
And I'm not
It's so
untrusting.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've already talked several times about how being the albatross being blamed for everything. Man, how much that sucks to be called a burden, to be the dead weight that someone's talking about. But what about this? She's the death you chose. Death?
I know. Well,
She's the death?
right. Well, we just talked about I'm going to get you back. Pick your poison. I'm poison either way.
Yeah. She's the death you chose. You are in terrible danger. Whoa.
Yeah.
And when that sky rains fire on you, and you are persona non grata.
Had to look that one up.
Yeah, same.
What's it mean?
It's a Latin phrase meaning unwelcome person, is what I found.
So, like, you're not popular anymore. You're not welcomed here. When the group is turning the back on this person that she's with.
Yeah, just the whole bridge as it, like, because the raining fire is a biblical reference, right?
End of days.
Yeah, the raining fire symbolizes just divine punishment for not listening to the warnings. So here this person is not listening to all of these warnings that these quote unquote wise men have been giving. These men, they're telling you I'm danger. They're telling you I'm no good. I'm going to be the death of you. There's nothing good that can come from being involved with me. So when all of this comes back, when the fire rains down on you, when you become an unwelcomed person, when society, like, basically ostracizes you, I'll still be there.
Right.
You know, I'll let you know that I've been there too and that none of it matters. Like, It's all outside noise. I'll be there to tell you that inevitably when all of this happens and you face all the consequences of being there with me, I'll be there to let you know that it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, but am I worth it? You know, like, but I'll be there.
And it's also, I kind of feel like it's also saying, like, hey, you're going to have hardships in your life. I'll be there for you. I'll be there. So don't worry about what else is happening. Like, I'm here for you.
It's kind
When
of
the world is just against you, I'm here for you.
it's kind of like it's like emotional growth following peace. You know, like, if you can accept that I'll never give you peace because I am all of these things, I will still be there.
That is growth.
And it is the opposite of I forgot that you existed. Where in I forgot you existed, she's saying, you got your popcorn out and did this as soon as my reps started going down. And now this is different. This is the other side where it's like, well, I told you I can't give you peace, but I'll still be here for you whenever the shitstorm happens for you too.
And I'll tell you that I've been there too, and that none of it matters. Wise men once read fake news, and they believed it.
I love that because now she's immediately taking away the credibility of these wise men that have been warning you. Like
they're not wise.
They're not wise. They read fake news and they believe it.
Yeah.
They believe everything they read. They read the headline, but they don't read the article. You know, like that kind of, she's just taken away that credibility of these people that believe all of the rumors. They believe everything that they've ever heard about me, but they don't know me. They don't take into account that Taylor Swift is an actual human being and an actual person, right? So she's also just saying that all of these warnings that they've been giving you this entire time throughout the entire song, they're fake, they're not true. Like they're trying to blame me for something, but they don't know me.
Jackals raised their hackles.
I love that line.
What's a hackle?
You know how their hairs kind of go up whenever they're on the defense?
Sure.
They just,
So jackals
stand up?
are dogs, right?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a type of dog, right?
Yeah.
Jackals is a wild dog.
Yeah, like a wild dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're just like
On their hackles?
defense. They're
Okay.
at an alarm state.
Yeah, they're like aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting aggressive to try to fend off predators. So they're already getting their anger up.
Jackals raised their hackles. You couldn't conceive it. You were sleeping soundly when they dragged you from your bed, and I tried to warn you about them.
I love that.
Turn the tables.
I love
here.
that. Turn the tables. Like
Why haven't you been listening?
I know.
Like I'm also warning you that all of these people are going to say all of these things about me, about being with me, right? Like she's saying that she warned the other person in this story, like she warned her lover about all of this, how everyone would turn their relationship into a scandal, how they would be villainized one way or another, how it's impossible to avoid. I tried to warn you about them. I tried to warn you about the critics, about the cynics and their cell phones, you know? Oh.
And how heartbreaking to think that this is truly what she thinks. Like she thinks,
I
"Hi,
know.
I'm the problem. It's me." Not that I'm giving everybody and I'm gracing and I'm adding economic boost to everywhere that I go to and I'm helping all these individual businesses and stuff. But she still goes home at the end of the day and is like, "It's my fault. I'm too famous, too popular. I can't have it all. I can't have a good career and love. I can't have everything."
I saw someone recently, I want to say it was Robbie Williams. It was someone that's like been super famous for a long time, saying that Taylor Swift is just so incredible because she carries herself so well, in that she like is dealing with so much. And we see that in her songs, and we as Swifties who like actually study her lyrics can understand that and see that. But to the average person, like she hasn't had some sort of insane, crazy breakdown. She has been able to, at least from the outside, it looks like she's handling it pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think he was saying something about how like people just don't realize how much it takes to be able to do that. Which
You have
is,
to have a strong team.
yeah, a
Backing
strong support
you.
system.
Yeah.
For sure. And she does,
Yeah.
which we're so glad.
So I crossed my thoughtless heart, spread my wings like a parachute. I'm the albatross. I swept in at the rescue. She's here to save the day.
I love that she's claiming it.
Yeah.
She's
Yes.
embracing it.
Like
yeah.
everyone told you I was wrong. I'm the one thing that's saving you.
Which is great. And I also love how it's just a very classic Taylor Swift trademark writing style
Yeah.
of taking an earlier lyric and switching it around. You know, this whole time she's saying cross your thoughtless heart. She's like, so I cross my thoughtless heart, spread my wings like a parachute. I'm the albatross. I swept in at the rescue. I love it. She's embracing it. And I feel like she's kind of saying like, I'll protect you regardless of the harm that comes your way because of me.
The devil that you know looks now more like an angel. I'm here for you. Everyone said I'm the devil. But now that you're in a dire circumstance, I'm an angel. Like I'm here. I am the savior
I'm
here.
the best thing at this party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'm the life you chose in all this terrible danger. So cross your thoughtless heart. She's the albatross. She is here to destroy you.
It's so good. It's
Yeah.
it's just it's such an incredible way for her to take that poem, that already existing poem that like, you know, showed the albatrosses, to put herself in the, where she says, I'm the albatross, like to connect that to her life is incredible. Just as a
deep woman.
deep woman, as a songwriter, as a lyricist, just as a writer in general. And I also want to pat ourselves on the back for being able to catch on to that. Like, I feel like by studying her lyrics and her discography, like we know her mindset, so that when she does make a lyrical reference like this, we understand what it is that she's saying. And I think if we didn't already study the 17, 18 songs that came before this, it would be a little different. So I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Tay Concept on Reddit said, "It's such a lovely song. It's if Ivy and Blank Space had a baby." The whole idea of the media perceiving her as a man-hungry monster versus the ever more whimsical vibes. It truly fits the tortured poet concept.
Yeah.
That's those are two interesting songs to slap together. I like it.
But
That's
I can
cool.
see it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I can see it.
Yeah. What a good song. What a good album. What's everybody's favorite song today?
Today?
The Albatross.
The Albatross. I think when I was reading about the poem, the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, and all of that and the connections, I think I was just so blown away by her genius that the Albatross immediately shot up in my rankings. Like, I have so much more respect for it now that I understand it. So today, the Albatross. Close second, I Hate It Here. I just love that song.
It's so good.
Which we're going to be getting into very, very soon.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, should we hear from some of our listeners who have
Yes.
left us some great voicemails?
Absolutely.
Who do we have, Lacey?
So, a lot of cool ways to get in touch with us. We want to encourage you to join us in our Lobster Lounge. You can join us there, station.page/13. It's free to sign up. All it is a lounge exclusively for our listeners, so we can chat, talk about what's on our mind, share any thoughts that you have. So just join us there. We would love to be able to talk with you. We have a listener called Little Old Traveler who said, now that the podcast has covered part 1 of TTPD, what are your 5 favorite songs? So people are going back and forth. Their favorite songs, by the way, number 1, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? Number 2, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. 3, Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. 4, Clara Bow. And 5, TTPD. So thank you for sharing that with us. And just be sure and join us, station.page/13. Now, we also have a Google phone number, and great listeners who love to call and leave us messages, like Maddie. Maddie called and said, add this to the bingo card board. It's happening.
Ooh, let me pull that up.
Hi, 13 Podcast. I hope this is the right number. I'm Maddie, and I'm with Lobster from Arizona. I went to the Eras Tour, Vancouver, Night 1 and Night 2. Our surprise songs on Night 1 were Haunted, matched up with Wonderland. It was so good, but sorry, Anna. And
I'm happy
Never
for
Grow
you.
Up matched with The Best Day. Yes, my mom cried. I heard that you guys were talking about an Eras Tour documentary coming out, and I think that's possible because they were filming Taylor on stage, and there was a camera filming Swifties having fun in the crowd, which is also what we saw in the first Eras Tour movie. So, yeah, that's why I think it's coming out. Also, I think that Taylor Swift will be appearing in the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show because it was revealed that Kendrick Lamar is performing at the halftime show, and he is featured on the Bad Blood remix. So I think that Taylor will come out and perform Bad Blood during the halftime show. Love you guys. Bye.
That'd be cool.
All right, Maddie, I have that on our bingo board now.
That's great.
A
I love
little,
it.
a little bonus.
Man, I would love to see Taylor pop up during the halftime, but man, it would just be like a little taste.
I know.
But then maybe it'd be like, then she would be the next year. You know?
I mean, that'd be great.
That'd be cool. Oof. But that would be cool to get, 40 seconds of Bad Blood
I know.
with Kendrick Lamar. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
And Maddie, you're very well spoken.
Very.
Yeah.
That was great. I love that.
And I'm very jealous about your surprise songs, but
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you. I love knowing that our listeners are there for moments like that, like seeing Haunted. Oh my God. The other day, I was going through all of my saved videos.
Yeah.
And I saved a video that someone had posted of Haunted mashed up with Exile featuring the crowd. I started crying. I was like sitting on my couch, like actually crying.
And the crowd is singing the
Bon
Bon
Iver,
Iver part
yes,
back to Taylor.
yes.
Pretty
I
great.
had actual tears in my I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Isn't that fun? I mean, just having emotional weight in what Taylor does. I just think
Story of my life.
it just blows me away sometimes.
I know.
It happens in the car most for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to text you guys and be like, crying.
We also have another voicemail. This is from Evelyn and Leah, and they want to know if we think this was intentional on Taylor's behalf.
Hi, I'm Evelyn. And I'm Leah. We love your podcast, and we were just listening to Death by a Thousand Cuts when we heard I Look in the Windows of Our Love even though they're boarded up. And then we were like, isn't there a song in Torture Poets Department called I Look in People's Windows? And we were like, are they connected? So we listened to I Look in People's Windows, and it said, like, I look in people's windows in case you're at their table, and we look at each other one more time. So do you think it's, like, just crazy clowning, or maybe they're related? Bye.
I think that's a great connection.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's a great connection of lyrics from Taylor.
At their table.
I look in people's
Such a good
windows.
song.
And I feel like it kind of, I'd have to listen to like the music, but I feel like there's a mashup there.
Called
I look
DJ
through the
Raj.
windows of this
I
love.
think I've heard it
Even
on
if
YouTube.
you boarded them
I think
up.
I've seen someone put those together.
It has that like that. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
da, da.
Yeah, that's Taylor inspiring Taylor.
Taylor inspiring Taylor. We love
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah.
We love it.
possibly right there. All right. Well, that's all that I have from our listeners for now.
Perfect. Well, again, guys, we are in a big Aaron Dessner stretch. So please come back and listen to us next time. Of course, before you come back, I want you to make sure that you have subscribed to us on all the podcasting platforms. Check us out on YouTube. All the ways to contact us are in the description of this podcast. And on the next episode, we're going to be breaking down Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus.
Thanks for listening. The Third Teen, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.